We've got a lot to talk about with the letter Y, because it's definitely not my favorite, and it's supposed to not be my favorite. I feel like I just am going to be spending this whole video justifying my decisions. Hi, hey, hello, my name is Sarah, and welcome back to the Sims 4 Alphabet Build Challenge, where I build houses in the shapes of different letters of the alphabet because I'm not good at building in the Sims 4, so I make silly builds on purpose. And this is actually the second last video of the Alphabet Build Challenge because we're up to the letter Y today. We've got a lot to talk about with the letter Y, so I'm going to jump straight into the Sims 4. I'm going to show you the shell, and then I'm going to talk to you about how I went about the letter Y. So this is the letter Y from top down, and it is also my snowman build that I built for Christmas over on the side there. So if you want to see that video, I'll link it down below. It was a fun one, that one. But the letter Y, this is the shape that we are working with today. Very similar to the letter X in the top half anyway, it's just the bottom is straight down. So I had a super easy time with building the shape, which was super nice. But let's have a look at the floor plan. So again, the floor plan ends up being kind of similar to the letter X. What can you do? This is what I had to work with, so I went with it. So you walk in through the front door at the bottom here into the living room, and then here we have a dining room and a bar as well. There ends up being a bar in this build. This little room in the middle here is the kitchen, and then we've got a kid's bedroom here with an ensuite bathroom and like the parents' bedroom here with an ensuite bathroom as well. So it is a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. With that being said, I gotta talk to you a little bit about this build because just like the letter X, we did not have very much furniture with the letter Y. Because one twist that I have on this challenge is I also use build and buy items whose titles start with the same letter of the alphabet that I'm building with. And if you're very familiar with this series, I'm so sorry, you're probably so sick and tired of me saying this, but I just have to explain it. The example that I use always is for the letter D build. I had to use this bush toilet as the toilet for the house because it was the only toilet we had starting with the letter D, being the duty calls bush toilet. So it makes me use things that I would never normally use. It also puts quite a chaotic spin on this challenge. So these are all of the furniture options that we had starting with the letter Y. Everything that you are seeing here starts with the letter Y. The yet another wall-mounted coat rack with shelf. Just have a quick look. I'm not going to read all of them out, but we definitely had way more options for the letter Y than we did for the letter X, which was really nice. It meant that I was able to use a lot more of the actual letter in this build. But you're probably seeing here that there's still not a lot of furniture starting with the letter Y, and there's not a lot of furniture that is needed in order to make builds functional. These builds still need to be functional, but yeah, there's not a lot here starting with the letter Y. So what I did for the letter X is I then furnished the rest of the house using only the base game, and I said for the letter Y I wanted to do a similar challenge. So I'm going to be using the majority of what you are seeing here right now. I don't use the Yamachan statue. I am so sorry about that. If you were looking forward to seeing that, he doesn't get used, but I use pretty much everything else that you are seeing here in this build. I'm going to be using my least favorite items in the game to furnish the rest of this house, and I was not excited for this because immediately I had thoughts on things that like stuck out in my brain that I knew I would have to use in this video, and there is a reason that they are not my favorites. So with that being said, let's get into the speed build. I'll talk a little bit more about what those options are and why I don't particularly like them. So let's get into the speed build. Immediately I'm putting in some of the furniture that starts with the letter Y, and you might be getting glimpses of wallpapers and stuff. I know that there's probably going to be some choices that I've made that are going to make you go, wait, that's a great wallpaper, or that's a great floor tile. Like, why do you hate that? I don't hate anything in this video. Actually, no, there's one thing that I hate in this video, but it's just everything else I just don't particularly like myself. You and I, we are allowed to have differences of opinions, and I do understand that a lot of the things that I've put in here, they have a place in a lot of different kinds of builds. They just don't go together in one build, and honestly I just don't particularly like them. I don't go out of my way to use them, that's all. So I do have to say I used carpet throughout this house, carpet and linoleum, and then I think there's one tile because this swatch of carpet is just not my favorite. It's not that I hate it. I don't hate it. It's just not my favorite. The tile that I use in the kitchen, I don't particularly like. It's only because we've only got the one swatch. I like the pattern. If we had more than one swatch, it'd be fine. And it's the same with the linoleum that's in like the dining room and the bar, which I know we're in the lounge room at the moment, but I'm going to be just kind of like talking all over the place in this speed build. So the linoleum that's in the bar and the lounge room, it's green and yellow. I used to absolutely hate it. I don't hate it so much now. It's just if we had other swatches, it would be better because I like how it alternates in between the floor tiles. Like the tile next to it is not the same as the one that you're looking at. It alternates and I like that. So if we just had some more swatches, it would be better. So I know you're seeing that right now. Do you see how it alternates between the green and the yellow? I like that. Now we're in the kitchen, and again, I had to go through and pick through a lot of the things for this build. It wasn't dictated by the letter, it was dictated by the things that I don't particularly like. And you might be seeing that I use these vampires counters and cabinets. I don't hate them. Again, it's another one where I don't hate them. I just don't like how limited the swatches are. There's only 3 swatches of those counters and cabinets. If we had more of a swatch range, they would be beautiful, but we're just so limited and I just don't like how limited we are. But we're in the parents' bedroom now, and we've got some interesting vibes happening here. Some wall art that looks very modern mixed with the wallpaper that's very classic, and it's just interesting vibes. But this whole house, kind of interesting vibes. It's all of this stuff clearly does not go together, like I said earlier on, but it has a place in builds somewhere, just not all in the same build together. So it's very interesting vibes. I don't like this build, but that's kind of the whole point, isn't it? It's using all of the things that I don't particularly like, so I don't know why I was expecting to like this build. So the only good part of this build, honestly, is the living room. The living room turned out okay. The kitchen turned out pretty nice as well, and the kids' bedroom, surprisingly, considering we have the sailboat wallpaper, that I don't like it. I just don't like it. Not even for a feature wall. It's just a little bit too much. I don't know. It's, again, probably has its place in a build somewhere, just not in this build. But the kids' bedroom with the blue vibes, it turns out pretty nicely as well. Oh, that's a short speed build. Clearly, I was not feeling the vibe with this speed build. So I'm going to have to talk to you more about some of the decisions that I made, having a look at the fully furnished, fully landscaped build, because you've just seen the bare bones. With that being said, let's jump back into The Sims 4 and take a look at the completed letter Y house. So here it is from top down, and I just kind of wanted to show you this view from top down first, because this roof shingle, it's the metal that came with werewolves. I don't hate it. It's just my least favorite of all of the roof shingles that we've got, and this is probably my least favorite swatch. Like, it absolutely has its place in werewolves, it has its place in these kind of rundown industrial builds, absolutely. It just doesn't really have a place for the rest of the style of this build, I suppose, and that's what we're going to be seeing with a lot of the choices that I've made. Please don't think that I hate anything in this build except for one thing, which I will explicitly tell you that I hate it, and I will explicitly tell you why when we get to it. Anyway, we're not quite there yet. And then this is the build from the front. Now, there's a lot that I feel like I need to unpack right here. First of all, I'm going to start with the roof trim. I like the thatched roof trim. It was more about what I felt would match the roof shingle, and I don't like the thought of thatched roof trim with the metal roof shingle. That's the only reason I chose it, honestly. So then you might be noticing, having a look around, we've got a lot of empty space. There's not a lot of landscaping on this lot, and that's because there really isn't a lot of the landscaping that I don't like. I actually like a lot of the landscaping, and so because this build was the things that are like my least favorite, I just chose the things that were my least favorite, which honestly are these bushes that you're seeing. These bushes that have the flowers on them. Don't get me wrong, they're very pretty in this swatch, but this is the only swatch that I really like. The rest of the swatches have really unnatural colors, and that's like totally fine for like an alien themed build if you're building like on 6am or something, because you can alter the lot in 6am. This bush would be perfect for that kind of build. Like I said, a lot of the things you're going to be seeing in this build, they have a place somewhere. We're going to move on to the one thing in this entire build that I hate. I actually hate, and it is this front door. Let's talk about the functions of a door for just a minute, shall we? Okay, so they're to separate a space, right? This door definitely separates a space, so it completes that function, right? To keep things secure. Now, this door is a glass door, and that's fine. Glass can be secure. I mean, you could break glass, but if it's like proper like safety glass, it's pretty hard to break. But around the panels of glass, there's nothing. You could just reach your arm through there and unlock the door. So this door absolutely fails the security test. And then, thirdly, functions of a door. To keep a room warm or to keep a room cool if a room is already warm or if a room is already cool. And with all of the holes that are in this door, what's the point? What is the freaking point? You would be freezing in winter. You would be boiling in summer. I think it comes with city living and it definitely fits in with some of the other city living stuff that we've got, but I just don't like it. It makes me a little teensy weensy bit mad, just a little bit mad, because I would have preferred to have like a fully glass door with the paneling throughout a fully glass door. It just makes no sense to me that we have these cutouts. That's all. Anyway, it's fine. That's the only thing in this build that I hate. With that being said, we're finally going to go inside and we're going to take a look at what's going on inside, even though we can see through the door because there's so many holes in it. Anyway, it's fine. We're moving past the door. It's fine. So into the living room. So again, none of these things in here are particularly bad. I don't hate them. They're my least favorite of things, that's all. And then we do also have some things that start with the letter Y that I don't even hate at all. But specifically, we do have this little seating space. The chairs start with the letter Y, so that's fine. But this coffee table and the couch, they're just my least favorite of the coffee tables and the couch. You know, I really like the holiday themed fireplaces. This swatch is just my least favorite. If it weren't a dark brown fireplace with the blue and the white, like I feel like it just needs to be a white fireplace and that would look so pretty. It's just some of the swatches on the holiday themed fireplaces are just not quite it, that's all. So then these curtains, we've used these curtains before in the letter H builds. I still don't like them. I just still don't like them. They're just not my vibe. They're just not for me, and that's totally fine. If you like them, that's totally fine. I'm not hating against anything except for this front door. That's the only thing I'm hating against in this video. Moving into the dining/bar room, and we did have a bar that started with the letter Y, which is nice, which meant that I had to pick some bar stools that I didn't particularly like, and these are the ones from Realm of Magic, and it's not that I don't like them, I do, they're just my least favorite of the bar stools, that's all. I don't find myself sort of going for them very often. And then over here, we've got like this bar height dining table, which you guys, I worked out that it was a bar height dining table this time. Unlike, what build was that? Was that the letter V where I couldn't figure out that the table that I had in the dining room was a bar height one? Thank you so much for letting me know that it was a bar height one. Anyway, I got it all sorted for this build. And then we've got my least favorite china cabinet. Moving into the kitchen though, and honestly the kitchen is actually pretty nice. There's not really a lot that I don't like about this kitchen, and you might be looking at it going, yeah, what's wrong with this kitchen? It's totally fine. Well, the only thing that's really wrong with this kitchen is I had to use the Journey to Batuu windows. There had to be some Journey to Batuu in this build somewhere. And again, just like I've said so many times, there is a place for the Journey to Batuu stuff. It's just not in a normal residential build, that's all. So we might go into the parents' bedroom next. So in here, it's a massive space, just like the letter X bedrooms were really big as well. It's a massive space in here. And again, just some more of my least favorite stuff, including some more Journey to Batuu stuff. And isn't it just so interesting and kind of funny seeing it with these cats and dogs curtains? It's totally fine. I'm really sorry if you feel offended by me saying that there's things that I don't like in here that are your favorites. It's not my purpose at all to offend you. They're just things that I don't normally reach for. A little desk area over here, and then we've got the bathrooms, which are incredibly empty. I thought that I was going to be able to come up with more things that I didn't like for the bathrooms, but I really struggled actually. So just my least favorite of the sink. I just don't particularly like pedestal sinks as it is. I always prefer going for like a counter and then putting an inbuilt sink into a counter. That's just me and my personal preference, but we do have some really nice pedestal sinks. This one is my least favorite. It'd go great in like a hospital or a prison cell. I'm pretty sure it came with Get to Work. We've got the DIY shower, which again works off the grid. So for off the grid builds, for like camping kind of bungalow, log cabin-y kind of builds, perfect, totally fine. I feel like I just am gonna be spending this whole video justifying my decisions. And then over here in this very barren, empty corner, we've got the toilet. It just kind of feels like a prison cell toilet to me. It came with Eco Lifestyle, so it's not even the one from Get to Work, which is actually a prison cell toilet. But it just gives me kind of prison cell vibes. This floor tile is also the floor tile that I was talking about. I don't hate the pattern. It's just the fact that there's only this one swatch that I don't like. Moving out of here though, back to the kitchen, let's go and take a look at the kids' bedroom, which also, considering what I was using, didn't turn out too badly in my opinion. So again, we've got some more Journey to Batu happening here. The only reason I don't like this mirror is because of how high it sits on the wall. You can alt place mirrors, but you cannot alt place them up and down. So I wouldn't be able to lower this mirror. Anyway, totally fine. Moving on, we've got a little reading nook in the corner over here. We do also have 2 beds in this one, just like the letter X build, just because it is such a big space. I forgot to put things on the bedside tables though. I've just realized, honestly, I kind of struggled at finding clutter. I really like the clutter that we've got. I think we've got some great clutter. I think we need some more clutter. That's probably the only bad thing I'll say about clutter, is I just think we need more of it, and more just like everyday items, that's all. But yeah, I just didn't have enough to put on bedside tables. There was only a couple of plants that I didn't like that I've already used, and also this is the other holiday themed fireplace swatch that I don't like. Just the darker blue and the white. Again, if it were a white fireplace itself, it would be so pretty. And then in the bathroom, again, it's like exactly the same as the other one, just with a blue mirror on the wall this time. So then for going outside, we do have these Journey to Batu doors in either of the bedrooms. There's this one here, and there's the other Journey to Batu door in the kids' bedroom as well. So let's go outside and take a look. There's not a lot going on out here. We've just got like a little picnic table. This is my least favorite picnic table. It's not bad, it's just my least favorite. And then we've got more of these bushes that, again, just not my favorite. And these trees, again, would work absolutely perfect on like an alien planet build. And even like this stone that I use on the outside, like a lot of this stuff, this futuristic stuff, would go together so well in like an alien themed build. Maybe I just need to do an alien themed build and use all of this stuff. Let me know if you would like to see that in the comments down below, because I'll do that. But guys, if you would like to download the letter Y house for yourself, I don't know why, because it's definitely not my favorite, and it's supposed to not be my favorite, but I will put it on the gallery for you. My gallery ID is sezrawrr, the exact same way it's spelled here, and you'll find it under letter Y house. Now, this one does use a lot of packs, because I was looking through every item in the game to not only find things that started with the letter Y, but also to find my least favorite items of the entire game as well. So there it is on the gallery if you would like to download it yourself. But you guys, that's all I've got for this video of building a house in the shape of the letter Y. We've only got one more alphabet build left, the letter Z. And for that build, just like this build, I am going to be using the items that start with the letter Z. I know that we've got a few. I think Zen is a really good keyword, so it's probably going to be some stuff from Spa Day. But I am also going to have to include another challenge to fully furnish that house as well. So if you would like to see any more of me and the last alphabet build challenge video, or any other Sims content that I've got coming your way, hit the subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell next to it to be notified of every time that I upload. And if you liked this video, let me know by hitting the like button down below and leave me a comment as well. Leave me the yacht emoji in the comments down below. I'm calling that a yacht emoji, so leave that in the comments down below to let me know that you got this far in the video, that you enjoyed the letter Y build and the chaos of it, and that you're excited to see the last alphabet build challenge video. But guys, I hope you're having the greatest day ever, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!